God reigns with power, authority, dominion. My God reigns. Maybe the problem is that you don't understand that if you have a relationship with God, you too can testify along with the choir and state without fear or contradiction that, my God, that means you have a relationship. My God, that means you are in a place where God is meaningful to you and you're in a kind of relationship where you can count on God. And you can say to yourself and to those around you, my God, that's the first thing you got to get right. You got to make sure you're in relationship with God. Then when you are in relationship, the next thing that comes through is that you understand that no matter what you're going through, no matter what your situation, no matter what your circumstance, no matter what's happening, no matter who says what, no matter what others think about it, no matter what's going on, no matter what it looks like, no matter how bad it feels, that God still reigns. The reign means that he's over it, he's in charge of it, he's controlling it, he has authority in it. And the authority that he has is the authority to shift it, to change it, to move it, to erase it. Over my circumstance. What's it? And he keeps giving me another chance. I like that part of the song too because it says even when I got myself in the mess. Come on now. The God I serve reigns and he'll give me another chance. Yeah. Sometimes God just resets the clock. Good God Almighty. Sometimes he just resets the clock to give us another chance. Another shot at getting it right. And guess what? If you mess that one up, he'll give you another one. Oh, somebody over here on this show. Somebody over here know the Lord enough to know he's giving you many chances. Not just another chance, but another chance, and another chance, and another chance, and another chance, another chance, and another chance. Hallelujah. I don't know about y'all, but I'm glad God doesn't run out of another chance. I'm so glad I've never gotten an overdraft notice on grace. He just keeps on adding more grace to my account so that every time I need another change, hallelujah, he's right there ready to give me another one. My God, personal, my God, personal, my God reigns. I wonder if you might come on and go with me. It's preaching time. It's preaching time. John chapter 18. John chapter 18. I just want to reiterate verses 16, 17, and 18. I'm sorry, just 16 and 17. We don't need 18. John chapter 18, verses 16 and 17. But Peter stood outside at the door. So the other disciple, who was known to the high priest, went out and spoke to the servant girl who kept the door and brought Peter in. Then the servant girl at the door said to Peter, "You also are not one of this man's disciples, are you?" And Peter said to her, "I am not." That's enough. I want to use as a subject this morning for just a few moments, shutting yourself out.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir.
Shutting yourself out. I know it's not annual Usher Day, but I'm going to preach this thing anyway. Is that all right?
Come on, sir.
Shutting yourself out. The story is told of a man desperate to make a deposit into his overdrawn bank account. And so he got up early in the morning and went down to the bank so that he could be the first one in to the bank. The man obviously did not understand that reconciliation of bank accounts happened during the night. So no matter how early you get there, they can already charge you the overdraft fee. But anyway, he was there. He was there at 9 o'clock in the morning, so that as soon as the lock on the door clicked, he began to push on the door so that he could get on the inside. And when the door wouldn't open, he began frantically banging on the glass of the door. But because of the door and the way it was configured, and with the thick glass that they use at the bank, nobody could hear them on the inside of him banging on the and so they just kept on doing what they were doing. So the man began jumping up and down and frantically waving his hands at the door. Finally, the guard at the bank saw him and made his way over to where the man was, opened the door and asked him, "May I help you?" The man got indignant and said, "It's after 9 o'clock. The bank was supposed to be open at 9. Why didn't the bank open at 9? I tried to get in the door, but the door wouldn't open." And the bank guard laughed a little bit and looked at the man and then looked at the door, pointed to the sign on the door and said, "You pushed when you should have." Lord have mercy. Come on, y'all, be honest. We've all had that happen to us at one time or another. We were in a hurry and didn't bother to read the instructions posted on the door, and we pushed when we should have. Yeah. And instant frustration balloons out of control when we feel like we've been shut out when we needed to get glory, hallelujah. That was Peter's dilemma here in the text. Peter, who was a disciple of Jesus Christ. Peter, who had followed Christ. Peter, who was the one in the midst of the garden when they arrested Jesus, had pulled his sword and cut off one of the guard's ears. Peter, who had stood up in front of Christ and boldly declared, "We with you no matter what." Peter, who had said, "I'll never leave you. I'll go with you all the way." Peter, who said, "God, no matter what happens, you are the Christ and I will walk with you."
Yes, sir.
Peter pushed when he should have pulled. And Peter ended up shut out. He missed the trial of the century because he was on the outside, not on the inside. And worst of all, he failed his Savior. Watch this, somebody. We generally have a tendency to blame everybody else in life but ourselves for those times in life when we find ourselves shut out. Am I right about it?
Come on.
I'd have been there, but I'd have gotten promoted, but I'd have had it, but I would have made it, but. And every time after the but, we put somebody else's name in the plate as the one who kept us out, or the one who prevented us from being on the inside, getting what it was that we needed in the midst of our living and our life. But the truth is that oftentimes, church, our shutouts are our own fault. We turn left when we should have turned. Yeah. We keep quiet when we should have spoken up. We wait till things get cold when we should have really struck when the iron was hot. And then in our bitterness, we blame everyone and everything but ourselves for our present set of situations and circumstances. Peter in the text got shut out. He let his fear get the best of him. He put himself first and Christ last. And he ended up on the outside looking. The bad thing about being on the outside looking in is you can only see through the cracks. The bad thing about being on the outside looking in is you can only see from a distorted position. The bad thing about being on the outside looking in is you can hear all of the excitement going on the inside, but you're not a part of what's happening. He was on the outside, not on the inside where Jesus was. But before we get to Peter, can we please take a look at the poor doorkeeper that's mentioned here in the text?
Come on now.
Because watch this, y'all. I don't want y'all to leave here thinking that she ought to take the heat for Peter.
Come on now. Come on now.
It wasn't her fault.
Say that.
See, the doorkeeper was not there to restrict Peter. She wasn't trying to keep Peter out. The doorkeeper was just doing her job.
Come on, sir.
She simply was a greeter.
Come on, sir.
She was a welcoming committee at the door of one. She wasn't waiting on nobody else to tell her what to do or how to do it. She was just at the door doing her part and welcoming those who were trying to come in. She graciously engaged the visitors in light conversation as they came in. I like this girl at the door that's barely mentioned in the text, but her job was to stand at the door and welcome those who were coming, assist those who were trying to get in, and direct those as to where they ought to sit. Y'all gonna catch up here in a minute. She had little concern for the reason for Peter's visit. That wasn't her job. Her job was simply to open the door and let him in. She was doing her job. She opened the door. She tried to let Peter in. And her question, aren't you one of his disciples? Are you with him? It wasn't to upset Peter. It wasn't trying to get all up in Peter's business. She wasn't trying to understand all about Peter's Kool-Aid. She just wanted to know, are you with the man?
Come on now. Come on now.
She was just trying to acknowledge whether or not he needed to be ushered all the way up to the front. If you with him, you ought to be up front where he...
Come on, sir.
Y'all ain't with me yet. That's it. If she just wanted to know, were you with him? It was like saying to somebody familiar, haven't I seen you before? Or don't I know you from somewhere? She had no intention of restricting Peter's visit. The woman was just curious about where he ought to be seated. Are y'all still with me? When she inquired about Peter's identity, it was Peter who pushed back hard and said to her, no, I am not. Peter pushed away all notion of his identity as a disciple of Jesus Christ. He bailed in the moment of importance as a believer. He jumped ship when it looked like the ship was sinking. He pushed himself out of the inner court when he should have been pulling to get on the inside. His arrested rabbi was about to face Caiaphas, the high priest, and a fearful Peter was pushing to excuse himself from being arrested also. It was not the doorkeeper's job to screen visitors or to determine their suitability for interest. Not then.
Not now. Come on, sir.
Do we have any ushers in the room?
Come on, sir.
Not then.
Not now.
Not now. Not our place to judge how they look. Not our place to judge how they are dressed. Not our place to judge who they love. Not our place to see what time they showed up for those who get to church late every Sunday. Not our place to decide when and where and how, who and when they ought to be able to come in. For Christ issued a command for any who would serve at the door. He said, whomsoever will.
Come on, preach, sir.
Let them come.
Come on, preach.
You let them in the door. I'll take care of what they ought to do after they get in the door. I'll decide what they look like after a while. I'll decide who they with after a while. I'll figure all of that out. Your job is simply open. So the door swings wide for anyone who comes. For anybody who shows up, the door ought to open, and the door ought to let those individuals in, whether they come in out of desperation or curiosity or habit. Not our place to decide. Just open the door.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir.
When they open the door, the usher may ask your name, but it's not to get all up in your business. It's just that the rest of us like to know who our family is.
Come on now. Come on now.
Yeah, we just like to know who we worshiping with. We not only exclude you, we just want to welcome. Is that all right?
Come on now.
The doorkeeper is there to open the door with a friendly, welcoming smile. And the rest then is up to... I said all of that to say it was up to Peter to get where he was supposed to be. She wasn't trying to block Peter. She wasn't trying to hold him back. She was trying to simply acknowledge who he was. The second point here is the doorkeeper was also not there to pass judgment on Peter. It wouldn't have mattered if Peter had admitted his association with Jesus. She wasn't an officer of the court anyway. It was just her job to be the doorkeeper. It would not have mattered to her if Peter had admitted his ties to the man who was now standing in front of Caiaphas in chains. It was not her job to decide whether or not Peter would be in chains as well. The doorkeeper was simply to find out, or trying to find out, if Peter was a follower as well. And the problem I have with this text is, why Peter get afraid all of a sudden?
Come on now. Come on now.
Hadn't Peter just been taught to share this new gospel with everybody? Hadn't Peter just been taught to be proud of the fact that he was a disciple of Jesus Christ? Hadn't Peter been taught that Jesus was the way, the truth, and the life? Wasn't Peter just taught that he can do anything but fail as long as Christ is with? Hadn't Peter been shown over and over that Christ really is the one? Peter could have seized this moment, y'all, and led Caiaphas' doorkeeper in a new direction, but instead he prejudged her. He decided that she was out to get him. He decided she was trying to expose him and get him arrested. Peter judged the doorkeeper.
Come on now.
I'm about to flip the script for a minute, because you see the problem is too many folk who are on the outside trying to get in prejudge those of us who are already in. They think the church is a bunch of stuck-up individuals who would never let them in, but you don't know what they really are until you get on the inside. For the truth of the matter is, every one of us in here knows that we too are just sinners saved by grace. We don't have anybody in here, at least I don't think we do, who think they are more than what they really are. I hope I don't have any folk in here who have forgotten you too are a sinner. I hope I don't have anybody in here back now who still believe that they are all of that in a bag of chips when it comes to your life with Christ. Because the reality is, while he saved you, you are still in the midst of your sin. Peter passed judgment upon the one who was at the door. But the truth of the matter is, we embrace many people who come through the doors of the sanctuary. They can come in here suffering from whatever condition they are suffering from. It can be physical or mental or emotional or spiritual. It ain't our job, because all of us been there at one point or another. In fact, a whole lot of us in here still there.
Come on now. Come on now.
You can come in anxious or resentful or lonely or sick or grieving. You'll still find a place.
Yes, sir.
Sit down. You by somebody who's going through it too.
Yes, sir.
Last thing we try to do is push somebody away. We try to get some help to get in ourselves.
Come on now. Come on now.
Our job on this side is to pull the door open wide and offer an unconditional welcome. And your job, if you're on the outside, is to welcome yourself and accept the right hand of fellowship. The third thing about this was the doorkeeper wasn't there to shut Peter out. She gave Peter all the opportunity he needed to identify himself as a follower of Jesus. She would have been glad to show him all the way into the front of the inner court, so Peter could stand beside Jesus, so that he could be there when Jesus first faced Annas, the father-in-law of Caiaphas, and then Caiaphas himself, if that's what Peter wanted. The doorkeeper was there simply to give direction, to point visitors where they desired to go. She was the pull, but Peter chose to push. himself away. Watch this. We certainly, y'all, cannot blame the doorkeeper for shutting Peter out. No, that blame lies with Peter himself. Peter found himself on the outside with the crowd, huddled around the fire that they had built, passing the bottle from one to another among individuals who had no understanding, no connection, no direction for tomorrow. Peter found himself huddling with folks who knew nothing more than each other, but was trying to give one another advice. I know I'm talking to somebody here, because there are some of us who gather at the bar and drink wine or a cocktail, hoping to get information and direction about our life from other folks who are just as messed up as we are. When you huddle around folks who don't know themselves because they themselves are messed up, what do you expect to get out of the conversation? When you hang out with individuals whose life is always failing, how do you expect to succeed? Peter shut himself out, hung out in the outer court, stayed out in the welcome center. Wait a minute. Stayed outside of the sanctuary, stayed out with the people who don't want to be in because they got issues in their life. He hung with them, commiserating over issues instead of being with the solution.
Come on now.
He shut himself out when he should have shut himself in with Jesus. He needed to shut himself in with the one who had washed away all of his sins. He needed to shut himself in with the one who had redeemed his eternal soul. He needed to shut himself in with the one who cleanses him from all corruption, the one who frees him from Satan's bondage, the one who makes him whole again. But Peter shut himself out. There was no need for this Galilean fisherman to fear being in the presence of the one who had kept him safe all this time, who had been there in the midst of the storm, who had empowered him to walk on water. If he didn't doubt Jesus then, why doubt Jesus now? I know what it looked like. Jesus has been arrested. Jesus is being dragged before a kangaroo court. I know what it looks like. The man who had been the leader is now under arrest and being taken before the judge. But you got to trust God even when things don't look like what you want it to look. The problem is too many of us are just like Peter and that man at the bank. We do a lot of complaining about being shut out of opportunity, shut out of the inner circle, shut out of life, when what we really need to do is shut up and get shut in. Shut in with the one who can turn our failures into successes. Shut in with the one who can turn our enemies into our friends. Shut in with the one who can turn our sorrows into joys. Shut in with the one who can turn miseries into miracles. We need to be shut in with the one who can turn frustration into faith and turmoil into trust. We need to be shut in with the one who, when it looks like the clouds are gathering, can brush the clouds away. We need to be shut in with the one who can turn our midnights into day. We need to be shut in with the one who can put joy where our pain has been. We need to be shut in with the one who can lift us up when everybody else has knocked us down. We need to be shut in with the one who, in spite of what it looks like, can turn our situation around. Every time I turn around, he keeps on blessing me. Every time I look up, he keeps on blessing me. Every time it looks like I'm out, he pulls me right back in. Yes, sir. As a pastor, I wish I could instruct the ushers sometimes to lock the doors and not let anybody out of the sanctuary. They don't need no more water anyway. I've been to the bathroom 6 times since service started. And we don't even have service but an hour and a half. I don't understand why so many folk got to go in and out of church so much during church. But it's amazing to me. Sometimes I wish the ushers would just lock the... I know it's a fire hazard before somebody run and say... But I wish we could lock everybody in and not let anybody out of the sanctuary until the Holy Spirit falls in this place. I wish that while the word was going forth from this humble pulpit, I wish that folk would pay attention rather than playing on their phones and tablets. I wish that during the service, we'd all get involved in the service so that at the end of service, we wouldn't walk out wondering why we wasted our... Baby, you feel like you wasted your time because you wasn't paying attention. The Lord was in this place, but you was too busy some other place. The Lord was in here, but you was too busy on Facebook seeing what everybody else was doing or what they did last night. You outside in the crowd while you are in the room.
Come on now.
I wonder this morning how many of us have really come seeking salvation. I wonder this morning how many of us have really come seeking inspiration and motivation. I wonder how many of us come because we really want to be disciples of Jesus Christ. How many of us are seeking peace from our perplexities? How many of us want pardon from our guilt? How many of us want something to live for tomorrow? How many of us are looking for a reason to look up so that we don't have to keep walking with our heads down? I wonder how many of us need to be built back up because all week long we've been torn down. I wonder how many of us have gone through enough storms and we just looking for a ray of sunshine. Don't be afraid like Peter and shut yourself out. No, baby, come on in. For God's grace is in this place, and his grace is here to calm your fears, to soothe your tension, and to strengthen your grip. His grace is here to answer your prayers and to fill your cup until it overflows. But you've got to open your heart and let him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In. The doorkeeper pulled the door wide for Peter, but Peter pushed himself right back out. He stayed in the outer court. He stayed in the welcome center on the outskirts where he could remain incognito. He preferred to be on the outside looking in rather than on the inside being a part of the in crowd. That's the choice many people make today. Oh, they like what Jesus stands for. They like the stories, all the good stories about the stuff Jesus did. But when it comes to joining Jesus in the inner court, they prefer to stay on the outside looking in. They say no thank you to the bread that will satisfy their hunger. They say no thank you to the comfort that will end their loneliness. They say no thank you to the peace that can replace their troubles. They choose to be shut out rather than shut in. And then have the audacity to blame the church for them not being on the inside. It's not the church's fault. You've heard all the hype and believed it. You've allowed others to trick you into believing the church ain't for you. You've allowed a few folk who have been to church but not part of the church. Can I stop for a minute? Because you need to understand something. There's a whole lot of folk who got a church name that they can say, but they're not necessarily a part of the church. They just go to church. They're not in church. Let me make that distinction very clear. See, a whole lot of folk fill up the pews that are not in church. They too are on the outside, but yet they're sitting on the inside. They're in church, but they're not part of the. And you got to be careful who you listen to, because some folk who just hang around the church, them the folks who will hurt your feelings, because they don't want you to get no closer than they are.
Say words, sir.
I want to be in the church. I want to be of the church. I want to be in with Jesus, not on the outside. And can't nobody keep me out. The doorkeeper can open the door, but you have to come in. You have to come on in and decide where you're going to be. See, the doorkeeper opened the outer court. Peter never made it past that place on the outside. You got to decide where you're going to be. You have to choose where you're going to sit. You're going to sit in the back row as an observer, or you're going to sit up front so you can be a participant. Uh-oh, got quiet right there. I knew it was going to get quiet. I put it in my sermon. Don't get quiet now. I don't know about you, but I want to get here early enough to get a good seat because I want to be a part of worship. I didn't come to observe and to watch and to see what everybody else gonna do. I came to worship for myself. I came to be excited about worship. I came because I couldn't wait to hear what thus saith the Lord. I came to hear a song. I came to hear a prayer. I came to hear somebody say something that would lift my spirit. I chose to come and be shut in with the one who was my hope for tomorrow. I came to be shut in with the one who is the way through my wilderness. I came because I wanted to be shut in with the one who is the melody for my heart song. I came to be in in with the one who is the audience for my prayers. I came to be shut in with the one who's the text for my sermon and the pattern for my life. I came to be shut in with the one who can do something for me. Doesn't matter who I'm sitting by. I came to participate in worship. I came because I needed something from the Lord. I came because I needed a blessing. I came because I needed to be lifted. I came because I needed to be blessed. I came because I needed a word for tomorrow. I came because I need God to do something for me. I came because I need to be washed up again. I came because I need the blood of the Lamb. I need another piece of bread from the bread of life. I came because I need Him to wash me. And I can't do that if I'm not in the place where He is. Jesus is extending the invitation to so many today. And while the doors swing wide open and welcome you into the sanctuary where the love of Christ abounds, it's still up to you as to whether or not you'll accept His love. Don't be shut out. Be on the other side and let Christ's glory shut you in. Let Christ's presence shut you in. Let His patience shut you in. Let His teachings shut you in. More importantly, let His power shut you in. Christ is calling you. He's saying, abide in me, and I will abide in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in Him.
That's right.
Listen, Christ wants you to blossom. But you can't blossom if you're hanging on the periphery of the family. You can't blossom if you won't come on the inside. I told you earlier, there's a difference between being in the room and being on the inside.
Yes, sir.
There's a big difference in the two, because too many folk coming just on the inside of the room, but they're not really in here for the right reason. And because they're not in here for the right reason, they're not going to leave with the right message. So I need you to understand that Jesus is standing this morning with arms wide open, waiting to welcome you in. Not just in the sanctuary, but into Him. He wants you to be in Him so that He might be in you. So that when you leave up out of here, you don't leave by yourself. He wants you to be in Him so that He might be in you. So that on Tuesday when things get tough again, on Wednesday when things get wild again, on Thursday when things get out of line again, on Friday when your face is filled with tears, He wants to be in you so that He can shift things and He can change things. And so by Saturday morning you'll be able to sing, my God reigns, my God reigns above everything with power. You need to get shut in. Stop shutting yourself. And the only way you're going to get shut in is to get serious about your relationship with Christ. Too many of us are playing with God. It's time to get real. Come on the inside. Don't let somebody keep you out because you're worried about what they're going to think about you. Every Sunday I get up and come to church. The devil will try to make you think about all the stuff you've done wrong. But you got to get up and come on anyway.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm going to a place where everybody else has messed up too. In fact, watch this. Everybody who hasn't messed up this week, stand. See, I'm the only one. Anyway, bless the Lord. Let us stand. If you're here this morning and you've been shut out for